We have tons of stories to break down this evening, my friends. We confirmed the signing of young wonder kid Gabriel Moscardo, but not only that, we're understanding what our plans are for this January window as we hope to sign 3 more players to boost our hopes of securing Champions League football. So my friends, tons of things to dissect. Hit that like button, let's get 2k likes. Share your thoughts and opinions, and without wasting any more time, let's discuss tonight's massive story surrounding Gabriel Moscardo, because courtesy of Brazilian reports, we have captured the player up to the tune of 26 million euros. Now for me, this is a massive W because if we cast our minds back to the end of the summer window, we had a similar bid turned down by Corinthians at the time, who wanted around 35 million euros before selling him. So to sign him for around 11 million euros less, that's a massive win in my opinion. And going back a few weeks now, reports did suggest that we did reach an unconfirmed agreement with Corinthians, but we were waiting for their presidential candidacy race to be over. Since then, it has been announced that the new president of Corinthians is Augusto Melo, who will be their new president now for the next 3 years. So now that that's been confirmed, I guess it's no surprise now that, we can announce that Moscardo is set to be our player. Of course, there's no official club statements right now, nothing officially from Romano as well too, but again, this news was broken by a Corinthians presenter who was close to the football club, who confirmed it on live TV. So, when reports come out from Brazil that we've signed a player, they end up being correct. So I'm not really doubting the story whatsoever. The presenter also confirmed the fact that there was a reason why Moscardo did not feature in Corinthians' last match, because I guess he was getting ready, of course, to finalize his move with us. So that's that, my friends. We have signed another wonder kid from Brazil. We've signed another wonder kid in midfield. Is Moscardo different to talents like Lavio, Hugo Chukwu, Santos, and many others? Listen, I'm not here to tell you the main differences between them. In my opinion, I think it becomes a bit redundant because ultimately, no matter how many 5-star potential youngsters you sign, development is not linear. Just because they're amazing at 18 years old does not guarantee they will be like the best player in the world by the time they're 24, 28. I was seeing very interesting comparisons with Declan Rice, and I fully understand them. In my opinion, I was saying that I see a lot of like a Javier Mascherano in Moscardo, because this kid plays with authority. Like when you're seeing a 17-year-old 18 with a buzz cut, like that's telling you straight away what this guy's about, right? This guy's only about playing football. He wants to lead on the field. And when you break down his game, he has so many fantastic attributes that you can mold and that you can work with. I mean, he's like 6'2" already at 18. He hasn't finished and he hasn't finished developing physically. He could get taller. He will get bigger. He will get stronger. He has the pace to eat the yards up on the field defensively, defending those transitions, using those long stridey legs to, quickly close down his man. He is not afraid to use his physicality. He has the body strength to shield the ball. He isn't afraid to slide in as well too, to be aggressive on the field. To show that type of mental confidence at this age tells you a lot about this guy's character on the field. But the other things that create that separation in his game, this is a guy. He wants the ball in tight areas. He's a player that you pass to because he will take responsibility. He will keep the ball against 2 players, closing them down. Use nice bits of skill, nice drag backs. He can change the direction in which he plays with his body balance, or just even use his strength to push people off the ball, and he will push your team forward. He will kickstart those attacks. And I guess in that sense, it is no surprise why there were some comparisons with Declan Rice, because they were both playing first team football at a similar age. They both showed that mental authority and maturity on the field as well too. But here's what it comes down to. Rice became the player he's become right now because West Ham realized very early on we must accelerate this guy's development in our first team. We must invest into Declan Rice. We must offer Declan Rice the minutes, of course, and make sure that he fulfills his potential, because if he does, not only are we set to be a better club, but we will make an absolute fortune if we ever have to sell him. And I think the proof's in the pudding right now. Listen, we can't forget this. Come on. Moscardo now joins players like Santos, Casede, guys like Lavio, Hugo Chukwu, Khans, so many of them. And I think it's really obvious now that we are really looking to sign and capture many 5-star potential talents, knowing the fact that if 2 or 1 of these guys become like heavyweights in the game in the next few years, then this model is worth it. Of course, I have my concerns with that. I'm always stressing development is not linear. You can't just exclusively think the players by themselves control their destiny. You need the manager to support them. You need the structure at the club. You need the right environment, of course, to, have the patience, which is the key thing, the patience to believe in these guys because they need years to improve. You're not going to become a world-class player in the space of 9 months. So I do question and I do think about what is our plan to get these guys in the first team? Now, I'm sure a lot of us are thinking, okay, Nini, listen, the multi-club network model is the key thing when it comes to developing these guys, but we have to keep things honest. We've secured one club in Strasbourg. We don't have a Portuguese club yet. Could this announcement mean that we're set to announce a deal with a Portuguese club in the next few weeks? Maybe. Of course, things are happening behind the scenes, but at the same time too, when you're investing in the future so much that you're not even really considering the present right now, and the present is we aren't performing on the field. We're languishing in mid-table positions. Over 18 months, we haven't really progressed or gone to a different level. And with pressure to secure Champions League football right now, it does push the fact that sometimes you need that balance in your squad between exciting young talents and that mixture of experience as well too. And I feel like we haven't found that balance yet. Right now, it seems like there'll be some massive competition from these young stars of the football club because, listen, I can't tell you who is going to be our main, midfield players of the next few years. I think we've signed so many exciting talents that I guess things like luck, things like timing, so many factors and variables will fall into place to determine who wins the battle with these young midfield players to remain at this football club, yeah? Again, listen, I think the guy is a great talent, but we've said that about all the guys we've signed because we've signed so many great young talents who could be the stars of the future, but you need to give them that time if you hope they fulfill that potential. So that is the Moscardo news out the way. Share your thoughts and opinions. Are you excited by this? Is this a different story, or are you a bit sick and tired of signing so many young players right now? Tell us how you feel. Now, another big report that came out today came from Matt Law. Finally, we get a news sum from him, and as we learnt, we hope to sign 3 players in January. Yes, that is 3 more players in January. Now, we know that a striker is a guarantee. We want to sign one. But for the other positions, could that be like another defensive player? Could that be a left back, centre back? Who knows right now? Could that be another additional attacking player? One thing that was confirmed is that we want to sign 2 first team players. 2 first team players. So expect there to be 2 big buys coming in January very soon. But to make sure that we don't create the chaos that we did last January, it is set to be a 1 in, 1 out type of policy. So I guess who could be sold? Now, I guess the guarantees are set to be Ian Maatsen, Trevor Chalobah, and Malang Sarr. I think Maatsen, the guy has talent, but he's not getting minutes. And I think that after his very poor showing for the Dutch under-21 national team squad, he needs to be playing week in, week out now. You're not a teen anymore. You're young in your 20s. You need to prosper and develop. I think Chalobah, of course, he's not even fit yet, but I guess with Disasi being signed, his future was spelled out, and of course Malang Sarr won't be here either. For other players though, 3 more interesting names that could be on the chopping block. You're looking at Conor Gallagher. Even though he's been our star guy this season, of course he hasn't agreed to signing a new contract, and we've been very hesitant, we've been very coy. I don't want to force any comparisons with Mason Mount right now, but you'd think that you would have maybe tied down his future knowing that the manager sees a lot of value in the player and has fought very hard to keep him here. So let's see what happens with that situation. But could Conor be sacrificed knowing that you can guarantee maybe 50 million or maybe 60 million now and reinvest that into signing players and positions that you need? Who knows? For the other 2 players, you're looking at Noni Madueke and you're looking at Armando Broja. But I think for these 3 players in particular that I'm mentioning, it will come down to how much money we could get for them. Let's say a Fulham offered 50 million for Broja. I don't think we'll turn that down. Let's say a club came in to sign Madueke for close to the fee we paid for. I don't think we turn that down because the club's probably thinking, damn, Gabriel is doing bits at Strasbourg. He is very good in pre-season. You know what? This is how the multi-network model will work. If someone isn't up to the speed right now, we already have someone on the conveyor belt that is ready to take over. I understand that. But to even expand on this opinion, my friends, I'm just not comfortable by how little patience we have in assessing these guys. I think Noni's been here for less than a year. Last season was a mess for everyone, but I'm at a point right now where I'm not using that against any players, because if you can't train properly, if you're not getting the fundamentals right behind the scenes, you can't expect miracles from the players, right? So it's only really from this summer which really matters. And Noni's been out with injuries. He's shown that promise, especially for the England under-21s, but it hasn't translated here just yet. But to be fair, Noni did reveal that one of the reasons why he left Spurs to sign for PSV all those years back was because him and Pochettino didn't see eye to eye. So could it be history repeating itself? Who knows? But obviously, if we hope to sign some first-team caliber players, you're going to have to make sacrifices. Knowing the fact that Champions League football is the priority, is one of the key things that must get secured, because I think the owners, the investors, they've hedged so many bets on being regular Champions League contenders due to FFP reasons that if we miss out on it again, I think that will have detrimental impacts on what happens at this football club. So my take right now, are we hoping to sacrifice what we have to sign players who are close to their prime or approaching their prime years now? You're looking at Nkunku at like 25, 26. And Osimhen, if you can sign him 24 to 25 years old, if you sign another additional 25-year-olds, could that be the difference that we need? So, of course, climb up the table and try and get at least 16 to 18 more wins. If we do it, it'll be one of the most remarkable comebacks of all time, in my opinion. But it does seem like right now we can't afford to take any more risks. And it'll be very interesting to see who these two first-team buyers are set to be. Osimhen, if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions, watch today's video where I discuss it, my friends. And tomorrow, I'm going to release a reaction analysis video, which I've been waiting to do on Osimhen. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because this guy's levels, as we know. But anyway, my friends, let me know this in the comment section. Who do you want us to sign in January? You can only pick 3 players. They must include 2 first-team stars, as well as an additional player too. So let us know in the comment section which 3 players you would sign. And for the third story, my friends, we have some interesting reports coming out from Gazzetta dello Sport. It involves another Shaktar Donetsk star, and his name is Georgiy Sudakov. And based on Italian reports, it's mentioned that we are showing an interest potentially in making a move to sign him in January. And this interest has been co-signed by none other than Mudryk, who insists on having his teammate signing for us and working alongside him and Pochettino. Now, I can imagine Mudryk will feel like, listen, my boys at the club with me, I'm going to feel a lot more settled. I know that he hasn't necessarily instantly got settled at the club. There's been the language barrier, adjusting to a new culture. It's going to need time. So I understand that with Mudryk. Could that be a way to accelerate his progress with us by signing a teammate? Who knows? The cynical part of me feels I'm already seeing press quotes coming out from Shaktar saying that, no, this guy is more than good enough to play for Barcelona and Real Madrid and Man City, and he is even better than Mudryk. And it's just that was the same gas PR that they were playing last January, and that's how they were able to secure stupid money for Mudryk. So listen, I get it, and it's working for them, right? But Sudakov is a talent. He has been monitored for a few years, but not only us, but many of Europe's big clubs, because if big clubs are investing millions every year on scouting, obviously that would involve knowing everyone that you need to know in the European game, right? So Sudakov though is different to Mudryk. He's more of a 10, a 10/8 type of player. I think he's 2-footed, nice dribbling in tight spaces, decent goal threat, but again, it's not really translated so much this season. And he has the talent, but you know what, I'm at a point right now where it's if we want to be a successful team in the league, we need to have a better balance between future stars and guaranteed stars. Yeah, I just don't see signing Sudakov making any sense when you have Kans, who's going to be coming back into the team, and Nkunku will be coming back in the team. I think we're stacked in 10 positions, and I think if a player who's playing in the Ukrainian league isn't doing messy numbers, getting 10 goals and 10 assists already, I'm not going to be signing someone from that league who will definitely need at least another year to adapt and acclimatize to the demands of the Premier League. Because in that league, if you got a bit of pace, you're going to have a lot of success there. The space is there, the lack of intensity, you can't compare it. So like, I can't imagine anything coming from this. But as I keep saying with stories like this, it gives you an idea of an inclination behind players the scouts are looking at, but most importantly, the positions we are looking at as well too. And it's no surprise that it's another 10/wide type of player that joins other guys like Musiala, Wirtz, and many more, right? So I don't know how to feel about this. I'm not expecting much at all, my friends. And on that note, that is the final story of today. So share your thoughts and opinions. Hit that like button. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll see you guys later with some more videos. Cool.